There we go. We're on. Okay. Where do we want to start? I guess one of the first things I like to talk about is how we know each other. I didn't know you guys even 2 months ago.
That's right.
So we met recently.
Yes.
And Amanda, you reached out to me, so I'd love to hear the story of how that all came about, because I don't really have all those details.
Sure. Yeah. No. Well, I kept seeing you everywhere. And
everywhere.
I talked to somebody, and you're on Franconia Front Porch.
Oh, that's right.
On all of the social medias, and you started popping up on my Googles and all the things. And I started talking about you. And then Janie from Pantry Posies, who is one of my favorite people.
I love Janie.
Yeah, we were talking about you and how amazing you were. And then Randall Saunier, who I know really well.
Yeah.
From Community Financial, and I was like, okay, I got to get in on this. What am I missing? I was having FOMO, so I'm like, I got to get my act together for my business.
I love that. Yeah. So you reached out. We had an initial meeting. We talked about what you were envisioning for your business, and
that's right. Yeah,
we've been working together for over 30 days now.
Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah.
I knew I needed marketing help, and we were kind of at this space where we couldn't deny it any longer, and I needed to make an investment in the business in that way. So it was perfect timing.
It was perfect timing. It's always perfect timing.
That's right.
And one of the things that I loved right away was our ability. I went to the studio. Is that what you call it?
Yeah. I would call it the studio.
Yeah. I went to the studio to see it in person, which was so magical. Walk in, and it's like all of these colors and patterns, and you just feel like you're being wrapped in this warm, comfy blanket. And so that was an amazing experience. But then sitting down with you and meeting Christine, and the organic way that conversation went from there was very special. I recognized at that point that you both were not trying to be anything other than who you really are. And you're showing up authentically in this world, which is one of the reasons why I asked you to be on today. Because I feel like you guys are like total badass women, and you're unafraid to show up as yourself. So I'd love to give our listeners a chance to understand who you are, but like what has shaped you up to this point, what motivates you, why you're showing up the way that you're showing up. So I want to actually start with Christine, if that's okay, and kind of dive into Christine's background, and Christine, like where you came from and how you ended up here in the North Country.
Well, how much time do we have? I grew up in Lebanon, New Hampshire.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was the fifth generation of my family in that area, and my family also owned a furniture company called Bridgman's Furniture.
Okay.
And that was by the time my dad closed the doors, it was 125 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, so I believe that's the number, but it was old. It was over 100 years, so it was kind of bittersweet with the economy changing, and we sold really high-end furniture and high-end bedding and flooring and window treatments. And I said when I was little I would never work for my parents, ever. And in my rebellious time, I didn't appreciate really what the business provided, not just for our family, but the whole community. And finally, in my 20s, when I started to settle down, and I got married at 23 to my high school sweetheart.
Nice.
And we started our family and settled down in Plainfield, New Hampshire, which is just outside of Lebanon.
Okay.
And started raising our family, and realized that, you know, something stable and more financially sound was a good idea. So I went into the family business, and it just actually ended up working out perfectly. And it actually kind of helped me like bring a sense of closure to childhood stuff that, I was still in big ego over with my parents, teenagers fighting with their mom and that kind of stuff. So it really rekindled an adult relationship that I didn't know was possible, and it was great. So from that personal standpoint, there was a lot that healed in that time that I worked with my family. So it wasn't just my mom and dad, it was my aunt and uncle, my dad's brother.
That all worked there?
Yep. Okay. My cousin, my sister, and then a couple of employees between the warehouse workers and sales force and all of that. And people who'd been there for years. Like Lois, I known her since I was a baby.
Wow.
Yeah. So the family held on to and really appreciated the people that worked there. So our turnaround was pretty low from that standpoint. And so when people came in, they were, always welcomed by the same people. And so for the community aspect, that was really important.
Yeah.
And when my dad sold the business, he decided to take the lowest bid on the business because it was community orientated. And right now, when we drive by that store, it is parking lot full, lines out the door. So he's like, it makes me feel really good.
Same business.
It is called the Listen Center.
Okay.
And it is like a Salvation Army, but local.
Okay.
And they provide a lot, and for the community with, food, financial support, and all of that with their donations that they get. So
that's amazing.
It was like a 26,000 square foot showroom and a giant warehouse.
Wow.
On top of that. So it really fit what they needed.
Yeah.
Because they were spread out in a number of different towns because they needed more space with all the donations that were given. So this kind of consolidated everything for them too.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's, that history. I worked in the window treatment department. I became the head of that. And from there, I really found kind of my calling, which was fabrics and, helping people design specialty window treatments.
Okay.
And also understanding all aspects of that business, which is, measuring and, and all that kind of stuff. So all the intricate things that I needed to know really jazzed me as a person and feeling the flow of creativity in that. And so I just kind of from there, I had 3 boys, and my boys were all ski racers.
Oh, really?
My husband was a ski racer.
Okay.
So we started coming up to Franconia because my husband went to school here at White Mountain School.
Okay.
And he was a ski racer until our early 20s, and I saw what it did for him with, all kinds of, knowing people from all over the world that ski racing. Yeah. It's such a small community.
Yeah.
And so when he's like, do you want to get the boys into skiing? I was like, yeah, I do. I think it'll be great for them. And it has been. It was a great experience for them. They're all retired from that now and moved on. But that brought us up to Franconia because, that's where he kind of grew up in the winter.
So what year did you move up here?
So we started ski racing on the weekends. So we were kind of up here staying with friends.
Yeah. And
eventually we bought a home in Middersill, and it's just a little tiny cottage, but it was great for the weekends and for.
Was it like up on the hill?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's right on the mountain.
It's like little hobbit houses up there.
Yeah. Yeah. The little Swiss chalets. Yes. And they are. There so many people that drive through there just looking and taking pictures of the houses and stuff. And so it's a fun community to live in because it's, second home, but there's also still a lot of people that live there full time.
Yeah.
That people don't know about. So we have like our little community and then a little bigger community in the wintertime when everybody comes back for skiing.
Okay.
So it's kind of a like party, if you will, walking around, and it's like singing carols every single weekend, but you're not singing, thank God. But But no, it's a lot of fun to live there. But we moved around because of our boys ski racing. We ended up in Vermont, up at Burke, because they went to the academy there.
Okay.
And then when they went off to college and kind of some PG years prior to college, we moved back to Franconia and moved into the Mittersill full time about 8 years ago.
Okay.
So that's kind of how we ended up here, but it had a long history for my husband.
Yeah.
And a family that he lived with here that he's still very close with. It's like he was an only child, so his community is very tight and important to him. His friends are his brothers as far as he's concerned, kind of thing, and sisters as well. But yeah, that's kind of me in a nutshell.
Yeah, so how did you meet Amanda?
So we met through her husband, who is friends with Corey and I. We went to school together.
Corey's your husband?
Corey's my husband.
Okay.
Sorry. Anthony, Amanda's husband, was a couple years younger than us. And Corey, they played soccer together. And I think also, right after high school, Corey did some coaching for the high school. So he was pretty young, but Anthony was still in high school. And so Corey coached Anthony in skiing on this, Lebanon high school ski team. And then from there, I mean, we've always been good friends. And when he brought Amanda back in our 20s, right? Is our 20s?
I had just turned 30.
Oh, excuse me.
Oh, man.
She's just a little
Let's
bit
not
old.
talk about
it.
We can move past that.
Okay, we'll go past it. But nonetheless, when he brought Amanda in, we were all just like, okay, what's the joke here? I mean, she is just absolutely gorgeous, and she's too nice. I can't believe it. He doesn't deserve her. Instantly we fell in love with Amanda and our little group, and we still stay in close touch with some of our friends down there in the Lebanon area.
Nice.
Yeah. And so, I mean, that's in a nutshell how we met.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that.
Absolutely.
So now I want to hear Amanda's side of like how you ended up here, and your perspective of meeting Christine would be interesting to me.
Of course, yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not from here, but it feels like home, that's for sure. I love Franconia. I love the North Country. I'm originally from Louisville, Kentucky. Moved around quite a bit and met my husband in Washington, D.C. And when I was working corporate.
Oh.
Yep. And he somehow convinced me to move up here.
Okay, there's a lot of things missing.
There's
Hang
a lot.
on. Let's back up a little bit.
I was doing the abridged version.
Yeah, very abridged, which I appreciate, but it just leaves me with more questions. So first of all, why were you moving around so much?
Well, so a little bit of tragedy early in my life. My mother died when I was 10.
Okay.
And so that kind of, when stuff like that happens, there's usually some repercussions and family shakeup. So I ended up kind of splitting away from some family and moving in with my father, who was in the Air Force. Oh. And so that then kept us on the move for quite a few years. Exactly. And so I ended up in New England, actually, as a teenager. I actually finished my last year of high school in Portsmouth.
Oh.
So my dad was stationed at Pease Air Force Base. People are probably familiar with Pease Air Force Base. It closed, I think, in the late 80s, early 90s, but I finished out right before it closed. My father was an air traffic controller.
Okay.
And so I had some New England roots as a teenager, and I loved New England. And my first husband was from Connecticut, and so I ended up living in Connecticut and having 4 children, and then divorcing and moving to Washington, D.C. I was in the energy business.
Energy business?
Yes. I have a dirty background. I was a coal trader. I know a lot of people don't like to talk about the coal industry, but
they don't?
Yeah. Well,
a lot of
all that
opinions.
environmental stuff, it gets a little touchy, and which, I do appreciate. So, but it was a really great career being in the energy business. And so I met my husband in Washington, D.C. We were working on a trading floor for Pacific Gas and Electric. Yep. And we owned all of the New England generating assets.
And what did he do?
He was an emissions trader.
Okay.
So he traded basically everything. We were burning off the coal, the SO2, and all of the emissions.
I know nothing about that world.
Exactly. We won't go too far into that. But that was my background. When I was living in Connecticut with my first husband and when I had my children, I was working for a coal company in Greenwich, Connecticut.
Okay.
So that was my first big girl job, and I ended up staying, in the energy business for quite a while until we moved back here, and I sort of had to, reinvent.
Yeah. So when you made the decision to move, was it an easy yes for you?
It was, because I trusted Anthony, and we were getting married. We had just gotten married, and I think I saw the value in the community, and we moved back to Lebanon, New Hampshire. So I saw the value in the community and raising our kids there in the school system. So it was a no-brainer to do that for the family.
Yeah.
So that's what we did, and we came back. So we came back to New Hampshire in 2006.
Okay. So you met Christine before you moved back?
Yes, because I started dating Anthony at the end of 1999, and in early 2000, I came to the Upper Valley for the first time and met his crew.
Yeah.
And all of his good close friends that he went to high school with, which ironically, all of them either married a local girl or there's a couple of us that are imported wives.
Imported.
We have one good in our core group. We have there's a few imported.
Yeah.
Imported.
I think that's a funny term.
Yeah, I know, it is funny, but and I just instantly connected with these girls. They were just great. I was like, wow, this is amazing. Like a whole totally built-in friend network. I didn't really have to try very hard, and I just got along. Especially, there's about 4 or 5 of them that I really connected and that we're really close with. We were texting this morning. Mm-hmm. Someone's having hand surgery. Yep. All the things. They've been a great support to me.
Nice.
And it's just been nice to move into a place where I didn't have any, besides my children, have any family and any real connection to the community, and to have a group of women. And then this is not to discount, New Englanders by any means, but they're not easy. They're not easy to become friends with. And I'm just going to call that out. I'm from Kentucky, and we like everybody, and we'll talk to everybody. But up here, they look at you funny. They take a long time to invite you over for dinner, and it's a thing.
I hear you.
As a Southerner. And but I love the New Englanders because they are very authentic, and legitimate, and they don't let everybody in, so it feels like an exclusive club when you are allowed in. Not in a mean girls way, but just
No, I hear you. I'm not Southern, but I kind of early on left New England for a long time, and when I came back, I felt like I didn't belong, and so living here, especially here, it was hard to get integrated and accepted. And I'll tell you, even this morning, when I left, I live on Main Street here in Littleton, and when I left my apartment, there was a man out on the sidewalk, and I just smiled at him, and I said, "Good morning." And he looked at me, and he goes, "Ha!"
I'm not shocked.
So, I experience it daily.
That's love, though. That's New England love.
It's New England love.
Yeah. So I appreciate you calling that out, for sure. Yeah. And I'm sure our listeners understand, too.
They are. And you know what's funny? Nobody's really from here. I mean, I think I've met 3 people that were actually born here.
Yeah.
I mean, they're at least the people that we've gotten to know.
Yeah.
A lot of people are, I think people that will say they're from here, maybe they started skiing here in 1954 or whenever Cannon opened.
Uh-huh.
And now they're from here. Yeah. But people born here, I don't know if I've met anyone.
Oh, well, Randall was born in this building.
Oh,
so
that's
you know
right.
him.
Yes,
but they a lot of them tend to leave for a long time and then come back.
They do.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I have a very dear client that I'm really close with, and she and her husband are from here, and so yes, I do know some people that are from here.
That's good. Stay connected with the true locals.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So my next question, thank you for the rundown, by the way.
Yeah.
That was super fun. I feel like I know both of you way better now. My next question is, like, I know you have your business, New England Home and Interiors, and that's been going for 3 years? Is it 3 or?
Really 4 years.
4.
But, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to understand what inspired that, because you came from corporate world, and I'm sure at some point there was a transition where you said, I'm going to do my own thing. And it's, you know, you were in energy. So you went from energy to banking
Yes.
to now interior design.
Yep. They're very similar. Just
Are
kidding.
they? I love the sarcasm.
Yeah.
So help me understand what led you down the path that you're on now. Why interior design?
Well, home has been very important to me, you know, and I love what you said about when you walk into our studio, you feel like you're getting a warm hug, and that's how we like to do it.
Yeah.
You know, we're not trendsetters as much as we like to think we are.
know.
You know, we don't want to be trendsetters. We don't follow trends. We're not into the sad beige aesthetic. You know, we really want it to feel like us when you walk in, and we want your home to feel like you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And through all my transitions in life, I know that foundation of home and creating spaces and the meaning of that is really important. It's what grounds me every day, you know. And I think it's important. And I wanted to share that and give that to other people, or get that out of people. When we're talking about interior design, there's so much value in hiring interior design. You can go down all the whole yada yada, blah blah reasons why you should work with an interior designer. But the reality is we want to work with you because you want to work with us, and you want to vet out what you want your home to feel like for you, not because we want to make it a certain way.
Yeah.
You know, so that's important to us. And I had been in corporate for a while, 30 years, and I think I was just getting to the point where I'm so over this. I spent the last 10 years of my career in the banking industry, and while I loved it, I wanted to do something that was my own.
Mm.
I wanted to build something that was my own. I wanted to do something really hard. Corporate started to feel easy. I felt like I wasn't learning anymore. And I wanted to challenge myself. And I'm a really curious person. And I felt like I was just sinking a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I really didn't want to take that next step. I didn't want to level up from a corporate perspective. It didn't seem that interesting to me. So I really started to tap into my creative side, and I'd always wanted to take interior design courses, and it really started with that. Early in the pandemic, I was like, I've got to do something besides be on Zoom calls all day. Because we were all, you know, working from home. I was working for a Boston bank, and I was home all the time, and so I started taking an interior design course, and then that led into a certification at UNH. And I was like, you know, as I started to go through that process, I was like, I think I want to make this into a business. And, you know, I told my husband, I'm like, I think I want to put a business plan together and really see what this can look like. And that's what I spent some time doing, and then started New England Home and Interiors. And
awesome.
So that's where we're at now.
Was that process scary at any point for you? Taking that leap?
It was. I mean, leaving a comfortable corporate paycheck with benefits, and you know, kind of knowing what your days were going to look like, and the consistency of that. Yeah, it was a little bit like jumping off a bridge in some ways. But I was willing to do that. I kind of worked my way through the process, saved, did a business plan, did all the things that you should do, you know, to look at it from a real business perspective. That's one of the good things that came from banking, is I was working with a lot of small businesses, and I can see, you know, I had a lot of insight into what they were doing right and what they were doing wrong. And I had some ideas around what I wanted to do in order to build a successful business, and to be a part of the community. So that was, it was, you know, I think there's a lot of growth in being uncomfortable and being a little scared.
I agree with that statement wholeheartedly.
Yep. Yep.
So at what point did you approach Christine and say, hey, I want you to be my window treatment person?
Pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had everything kind of locked and loaded and had moved, opened a studio in Lincoln. We've been in Franconia for just a little over a year now. When this space came up, I jumped on it. But I knew that part of what I wanted to do with interiors was all of it. I wanted to be part of all of it. I felt like that was important to offer that to the client if they wanted that service.
Yeah. We
wanted to be part of the construction. We wanted to know where the windows are. We wanted to be really a part of the whole thing, the whole process from the ground up. And the windows are so important and often forgotten. And most men and contractors are not thinking about, how are we going to dress those windows? And, is that sofa going to fade because there's nothing, how's the light going to come in?
Yeah.
How are you going to cook when, the sun's coming in on your eyes? All the things that really need to be considered early on. But also just when we're doing regular decorating projects, I knew that was going to be really part of putting a room together. It really is the jewelry and space when it comes to textiles. So there's the functionality of the window, but also the beauty of the window. And Christine there's no one that knows more about window treatments than her in northern New England.
Wow.
I will, maybe even New England.
Jeez.
Oh, Christine, we should pick your brain.
I mean, she knows it all. I mean, operationally, from all the things. So I knew that in order to have a successful business, the window treatments would be a big part of it.
Yeah.
And so I started engaging with her and all my wacky ideas, and she was like, sure. So slowly got involved and saw what a train wreck I was, and she's like, yeah, no, I got to be more involved. No, you're not allowed to measure any more windows, Amanda. So
is that true, Christine?
Sort of.
Yeah. Well, just in what you said now, I don't think about half of those things. So, I mean, That's amazing.
No one does.
No.
And we go in and we see the windows that happen, the DIY, which is fine. It's totally fine to be DIY. We understand that. It's understandable.
Yeah.
But,
well, yeah.
Having a professional, if you make that investment in your home, is always worthwhile, I guess.
Yeah. Now I'm thinking about my space.
Yeah.
What's wrong with my windows?
That's what we do.
We don't judge.
Seed.
We analyze.
No judging. Ever.
Yeah.
Never judge it.
Nope.
Yeah. What is it like to be the thinkers that you are and the analyzers of space and have to go out into the public and just be in other rooms and spaces and you must just be overwhelmed by everything that you notice. Can you turn that off?
Yeah, I can turn it off.
You can?
Yeah, I can turn it off.
Okay.
I think it's kind of one of those things where I love seeing where you can improve, how you can make things more functional. I'm always thinking about, the details.
Yeah.
On anything. It doesn't have to be window treatments. It's on anything. It could be like we're looking in this room. I might say, you know what, you might want to put your pens over there because you're right-handed or left. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just start thinking about the function and the details and aesthetically how that all works together. And Amanda and I were recently talking about, feng shui and how the energy of feng shui is so important. It's not something that I've ever studied, but it's something that I think intuitively is who we are, not just me, but it's a good designer feels the flow and wants the flow to work. And sometimes that's where we find the customers get really stumped, whether it's a window treatment or the way their furniture's put in or the way they just had an addition put on and they're like, none of this works. We don't know what's wrong. And that's where we come in too late because they didn't think to ask someone who works with flow.
Yeah.
Which is really kind of the basis of everything that we do.
Yeah.
How does this flow? Color, texture, function, air, traffic, all of it. It's all part of it.
It starts with the people, often for me. And I can turn it off, but it pops up like visions, like, hello, the paint color. Yeah. But a lot of it is them, like, I just feel off in my space. And it's like, what do you what do you think it could be? And it's either one or multiple of those things, you know, and I think that's what we like. We really like to get to know the people before we get to know the space.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I'm curious, what is the most rewarding aspect here of as far as what you actually bring to each one of your clients? Not like, hey, we completed this space for you, or hey, you're happy with this, but like the deeper meaning or the deeper emotions that come with a successful project. What is that? What do you bring to those clients?
I think a lot of times it's clarity. There's a lot of psychology, to be honest. You know, the way the world works today is people think they can just add to cart and build a room. And it's all going to work out because it looked good on a magazine, or it looks good in a catalog, or it looks good on an Instagram feed, or wherever you saw that inspiration. And we fall victim to it too, with seeing things like, oh wow, I love that, but you actually put it in your space, and where you have to move around and sit with yourself and your family and those that you love are sharing the space, and it actually doesn't really fit you. And so I think really getting to the core of how do you use the spaces, how do you, like Christine was saying, with flow, you know, where the bed is located, who's sleeping on the left side versus the right side, who gets up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, you're your husband, then why is he sleeping closer to the bathroom? You know, it's just things like that impact your life. The functionality of living is understanding, you know, color. Do people like color? It's the funniest question when you ask people. We have a questionnaire when you get started with us, and we'll ask people what their favorite color is. I cannot tell you how many times people don't know their favorite color. It's so interesting to me. And I think we all have a few favorite colors. You know, those that we're really drawn to. They make us feel good. They make us look good. Whatever that is. And I'll tell people, I'm like, well, so like what's in your closet? You know, like get a little inspiration for what you actually put on your body and you feel good walking around. The world in is a great place to start how you should decorate your home. I don't like green. Well, why do you have a green sofa and why are your walls green? Let's start there. You know, so I think it's really getting to know people and understanding what makes them happy and what brings them joy and comfort. It's really about comfort at the end of the day.
Well, the other thing too that kind of jumped out at me is like when someone says, I don't like green, and it's like, well, why? Like, what is it about green? And is it just a certain type of green, or is it all greens? And their perspective sometimes of green is actually a blue. You know what I mean? So it's a really interesting, you know, the color thing is a really interesting thing. Amanda's really good at the color, and I
what, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. So I mean, I think I love every single color. There's even, you know, like grays, like I'm wearing gray today, you know, but I love every single color because it can add and enhance something. It doesn't have to be the wall. It could just be the decorative trim on your sofa, and wow, it really brings out that blue. You know what I mean? So it's sort of like the magic and alchemy of putting all these things together.
I love that.
Yeah.
So Amanda, you had mentioned about how important home was to you and how this is a way to kind of express that and bring that to other people.
Yes.
Do you think it was because you moved around so much when you were a kid?
I think so. I think moving around a lot and feeling unsettled was, and my dad used to say that used to drive me crazy. Hopefully he's not rolling over in his grave, but it drove me crazy when my dad would say, we'll do that when we get settled. You know, and I'm like, well, when are we going to be settled? Because, you know, every 3 years we would move again. You know? And so I always hated that. So as soon as I bought my first house, you know, I wanted to get settled, you know, and putting that together was really important to me. And having that space for my home, for myself, was really critical, and feeling really good and allowed me to do good in so many other things. It allowed me to focus on being a good mom, and it allowed me to focus on being a good worker as I was really getting my career started, at a really young age. I was a really young mom. So it gave me this sense of calm and balance, and, the world is crazy out there. It's nice to kind of go in your house and close the door and feel safe and secure, if you can. And so if we can give that back to other people, and I've, told that to my children, your space is really important. I know, I think I'm nuts because keep it neat and clean, keep it tidy, keep it organized to some degree. It all starts with just some of the basics and how you feel about your space. It's not just about the fancy things.
Yeah.
It's how you get it pulled together in a way that feels good to your soul, that you can sit in it and relax and really be present, even if it's just for yourself, or like I said, when you're sharing those spaces with those that you love. And that's important. Really.
How does that evolve over time as you grow? How have you seen your own space evolve?
It continues to evolve and change. I mean, I still walk into my spaces and go, oh, I need to change that. It never stops for me. It's always evolving. I'm like, I think I need a different kind of pillow. I'm always in refresh mode. That feels good to me too, to kind of have things updated. And I'm a serial furniture mover. I mean, I'm constantly moving furniture. I'm pretty sure my children have PTSD from getting up on Saturday mornings when they were young. And I'm like, I think we need to move the living room over here and the dining room over here, and we would get everything turned upside down and move the whole house around. So I'm a big believer in changing things up too, and not leaving it the same forever.
Yeah.
I believe in making a really good investment in your home, but you can change things up. There's ways to do it that keep it, because you change. We continue to change, even at our age, undisclosed age. That we're continuing to evolve and change too, and your life changes and your needs change. As we were talking earlier before we went on air, life transitions. You find yourself, married and then not married. You find yourself in a house full of kids, and then all the kids have fled the nest.
Yeah,
which is a good thing. So you have some transitions that are harder and some that are easier. And I think evolving your space is okay. I think it's actually really important. I think those are times when you actually can look at this as a time to refresh and take a look at how you can reimagine not just your life outside of the walls of your home and your relationships, but how that impacts your interior spaces. And I've always said it's an inside job. It's an inside job on you, inside you, and it's an inside job in your spaces.
That's pretty deep.
So it is.
You probably have some clients that feel a little bit uncomfortable with looking inward.
Oh, sure.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that we can be we don't mean to be, but I think it can be intimidating. And I think women are very open to it. I think men struggle with it. We actually, even just a recent the guy that was interested in working with us, he won't be anonymous.
Yeah.
But we had a male client he's divorced.
Yeah.
I'm bringing it up because it's worth the listeners to understand where, kind of think about how you think about things and how you're approaching things and where you find value in things and relationships. It's all the same. It really is.
Yeah.
And he, guy's guy talking to the other guys on the job site, who, by the way, we referred to him.
Yeah, who know us well.
Who know us well and tell us everything.
They might be married to us, too.
Exactly. And it's like, well, I don't really see the value in working with Amanda, an interior designer, for this project.
Oh.
And that's why you're divorced.
Yeah.
But, buddy boy. So, he's missing the value, right? And that's maybe partly our fault for not really expressing that to him when we first met. But not taking a minute to say, well, wait a minute, why am I saying this? Is there value? Look at this train wreck, and now I've got to just deal with all these men, and are we going to really get this done the way it really needs to get done? Yeah. And so he's not really thinking really far ahead.
Yeah.
I forgot what my point was.
It's multiple layers,
It is
multiple
layers.
steps, and
It's layers.
And I mean, in general, women tend to think maybe more multitasking.
They do.
That way anyways, where, sometimes people come in and it doesn't have to be a male, it can be a female.
It can be, yes.
They can just kind of karate chop you and say,
Yeah.
I can't go that far ahead. I can't think,
Yeah.
that deep.
Yeah.
And you know what? I don't want to think that deep.
Right.
And then you just got to kind of read the room and back off and be like, I'm here if you need me. Not a heck of a lot more you can do.
Yeah. So when that happens, I'm so glad that you said that. I think that applies in other industries as well, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely mine. So I totally understand what you're saying. But when that happens and it's potentially to the detriment of the outcome of the project,
It will be.
how do you continue on?
It's hard.
Yeah.
There's a magic and also what you do. You're very creative, and there's
Well,
a
thank
flow. There's a flow, and there's some intended end result. There's the same with us. There's flow and an intended end result.
Yeah.
When you don't allow us to do our job that you hired us to do, same with when I don't allow you to do the thing that we're supposed to do, there's a break in the magic, because there's so much magic that's happening in a creative. Can you imagine someone going over to Leonardo da Vinci and say, oh, could you make those eyes smaller, bigger?
Yeah.
No eyelashes. That should be red, not green.
Less
It's an
hair.
art. It's an art and a science. In so many industries, whether it's a painter, house painter, a tile installer. I have a tremendous amount of respect for all of the tradespeople we work with. These guys are amazing, and we have our crew. We have a small crew. We're always looking for additional guys to work with, but we're pretty picky about the quality of the work, because we're bringing them into homes, our clients' homes, and we want them to do really superior work. So when you don't allow everybody to do their job, breaking processes that and I know you have a solid process, which is one of the reasons why I hired you. You have a solid process, and you got to, if you let the person who's built that process do their thing, it's going to work out.
Yeah.
And so when you break processes, and there's going to be a problem, because we've also built processes, and if you change something, then I can't guarantee, and I can now no longer guarantee that this is going to work out for anybody.
Yes.
It's actually going to be painful. It's going to cost you more money. It's going to be ugly.
Yeah.
And that's the reality. And I think we're getting to trying to get to the point in our business where we're saying this more up front when we talk to people, to say, why are you hiring us? Why? Because we want to do a great job. It's really important to us that we do a good job. We lose sleep. I mean, she comes in, she's like, oh my God, I didn't sleep all night because I was thinking about the measurement on that left panel. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, oh, well, I didn't sleep last night because I was thinking the cabinets are going to be like this way and that way. And did I pick the wrong color? And we lose sleep over this stuff.
Wow.
So.
Yeah.
This is a lot of passion.
It's a lot on us. And so, but our process, just like your process and any other business owner, entrepreneur, or tradesperson, or name the person, as soon as you don't allow that to happen, it's going to be a bit challenging. And we just see that in projects, and I'm sure you've seen that with your clients.
Yep.
Just let me tell you the things and do the things.
Get out of my way.
Get out of my way. By the way. Yes. Yeah. And it works out a lot better, and a lot of it's trust,
I'm so glad you said that. I was going to bring it up, is that why is this happening? It's because there's a lack of trust.
Correct.
So why is there a lack of trust?
That's not on us.
I don't know what causes that.
I have an idea about that.
Do you?
I've thought about that. We talk about it
quite
a bit.
All the time.
It's, all the time. I'm so sick of it.
What is wrong with us? Where did we fail?
Well, our world is moving so fast right now.
Yeah.
You know, things are changing so much. And expectations being put on other people to do things the way you want them done, you think they should be done, even though it's not your profession. You have no idea. You can't even pick up a hammer and nail into the wall because you're afraid you're going to do something wrong. But then you don't trust the people that do hammer nails.
Yeah.
And you want things to go in some, you know, eventful sort of way on your calendar, but then you can't make up your mind, and then you expect them to still get things done on time when you've delayed everybody 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's not a computer. We can't press return on this. Lots of times you can't return anything because you got to let the process unfold and trust the people that know what they're doing. Do mistakes happen? Yes. You know,
they will happen.
And they will. You know, does a hammer fall off a ladder and dent the floor? Yeah. But you know what? Things get fixed. Things get taken care of. And that's the same with, you know, that's why it's so important for us to really get to know the person and to really involve them in the whole process. In terms of picking colors and textures, you know, we'll come in and do a presentation and ask, we want your guidance. We want to see what grabs you, like, you know, and we allow it to be, you know, exchange between the client and us, as opposed to being like karate chop. But at the same time, there's a fine line with that where we have to karate chop, you know, and say, okay, now get out.
Yeah.
Get out and let us do it. It's
a balance. It's a fine balance because we have a tremendous amount of respect for we're so grateful when people want to work with us. I mean, we're incredibly grateful. But we want to bring all the value to them, and we want them to trust us. And we try to build that early as much as possible, you know, showing up and being prepared and doing all the things. I mean, you know, that's been some of my biggest learning lessons in life is being prepared, you know, and we're hoping that by showing up and bringing in all the right resources that we're showing that value, not just the creative side of it, you know. We live in such a technical world. We live in such a visual world. We're living in a world where people are just so used to getting things done in a
immediate.
So immediate.
Yes.
And the reality is that life, a well-lived life isn't like that. You know, it's just not like that.
What's it like, Amanda?
It's awful. You know, spinning around. People are just, you know,
chaos.
It's chaos. It's absolute. People are spinning around themselves, and we see this spinning in circles.
We're like Tasmanian devil.
Yeah,
I'm going to open the door and let you out. You come back after you've
calmed down
with the tree outside for a little while and grounded yourself.
Yeah,
then come back.
Yeah.
But usually you have to teach them how to ground themselves.
We do,
right?
Yeah.
I'm going to make them drink some more of that stinky tea you bring into the studio.
Oh, man.
Mushroom tea.
Oh, let's talk about that. How much time we have?
Yeah.
We got time. You have a Reiki practice?
Yes. So unofficially, I am a Reiki master. And I'm also an herbalist. And the two kind of meet each other every once in a while when someone needs help. I started it because when I left my family business and we moved to Burke, and I just wanted to be something else. And a friend of mine who was staying at Mittersill, she said, you know, I don't know why, but I feel like I need to tell you this. And she gave me this piece of paper that had herbalists, learn to be an herbalist, And I was like, I'm going to do that. I just knew right away. I just knew it. I said, I have been looking, and she just literally threw this in my lap. So I went on this adventure for a couple of years. In the meantime, I actually still stayed doing window treatments, installing them. So from that perspective, the hands-on dirty work at the end.
Yeah.
But I kind of found a whole new me in all the energy work, and with a good friend of Amanda and mine, Cindy, her and I had a magical moment one time. We looked at each other from across a kid's concert at school.
Yeah.
And I looked at her and I said, something happened to me. I need to talk to you. And she was like, something happened to me. And then we both just like, let's go to the bathroom. So we leave the concert and she's like, tell me what happened to you. And I said, I had this moment. And then all of a sudden, this woman said, do you know Reiki? And she was like, the weirdest thing is I've been researching Reiki. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. So we did that together, hand in hand.
Nice.
And, she didn't go on to the very final stages, but she's very good at Reiki energy work. And when we're together, we can have a pretty interesting energy session for someone. And it's very powerful and moving and emotional sometimes. And I've used it a lot, just understanding energy. It's really helped me understand that from a very creative perspective as well. So
working with people.
Yep. It plays a role in a lot of different levels.
Do you like...
They're getting Reiki'd even though they don't know it.
Yes, exactly. That was my thought. Like, you're doing something. You're like, oh, they need some Reiki right now.
Yeah, go outside, lady. I know. I can... I don't... Sometimes I don't even realize that I'm moving the energy around because it's just sort of like always been a part of who I am, even as a little girl. I remember I used to put my hands on people all the time and be like, I'm going to heal you. As a little 5-year-old, let me touch you, and my mother just be like, she's such a weirdo. Stop touching everybody, please. But yeah, that's
so it's one of your gifts.
Yeah, I think so. I think you could say that.
Yeah,
I love it. I have a lot of fun with it, and I'm always saying to Amanda, I want to, the feng shui thing we've talked about a lot, and I think that's something I'm going to maybe go get certified in officially and understand it better from the education side of it, not just energy, but why.
Yeah.
How do they work together? And, to be helpful to our clients, but even in my own life, because really this journey is about me and what's inside of me. And how can I be better for others if I don't know what's going on inside of me? So
let's just pause there because that was really profound.
Can you feel the energy?
Do that all the time.
Yep. Sorry, I did it again.
But that's what she said is really important to bring that.
Yeah.
If you can't, well, I know that's really important to you, being very authentic, and so that's who we are. And it's one of the reasons why I got out of corporate, because you could only go so far with how you could be.
Yeah.
And
true.
so Chrissy's this way, and I think this is why people love working with her on the windows, is especially when there's drapery involved. And it's a much more creative aspect than just honeycomb blinds are great, but, when you really can work within designing the whole window, she gets connected with a client.
Yeah.
And I think energetically, for sure. And that feng shui is a really important part of who she is and how she sees things just on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. It's just an energy thing. So I think that's something in how we want to move the business forward and with our clients and our relationship with the clients and the community. We were looking at what you were saying when we moved the studio around last week. You're like, something's not right here. We want it to feel like that warm hug, but something's not right. She'll move things around.
Yeah.
So,
did you figure it out?
We do collaboratively. I think we're, and some of the other ladies that work with us part-time. It's we have a nice community of just collaboration within our
crew.
Space. Yeah, our crew.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, we always figure it out. Sometimes, but it's the truth. Like, you can't be on all the time, and then sometimes you just get stumped because you just can't see past the brown glass vase, and you're just like, I want to use that so bad, but it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And no matter how hard I try, she'll come in and be like, let's just remove it, and I'll be like, okay, you're right. You're trying to force something, and then into being magical. You can't force magic,
like life.
Yeah, like
it's life. It's just life. We could talk about interior design all day long, but it is a mirror into your life.
Yeah.
It really is. And if we're feeling it, if we're feeling off, it's hard to be creative on those days. So we try to be positive.
And get chocolate sometimes.
Chocolate.
Yeah.
We eat a lot of chocolate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And really nice coffee.
Coffee. We have a lot of great coffee in Franconia, by the way.
You guys are surrounded.
We are surrounded by coffee.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you have Hungry Bear,
and then the Franconia Coffee House.
Okay. Does the Dutch Treat do coffee?
Well, I think they do just regular coffee.
Sitting there, yeah.
But then we also come to Bethlehem.
And we love coming to Bethlehem, too.
And then we go to the Inkwell, too.
The Inkwell, we love the Inkwell. Yeah, we run around
all
and
the
get coffee.
Got coffee, we'll travel.
Yes, the North Country, another benefit of the North Country.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I like having these different options. Could you imagine if we only had one coffee shop for this whole region?
I can't imagine.
That would be depressing.
It'd be terrible.
Yeah.
Well, the lines are already. I mean, now that all the people are gone, thank God.
Yeah.
I love that. We can finally get a cup of coffee.
we can go outside.
Yeah, I can find a parking space.
I know. No, I'm so glad those people came and brought their money and now have gone.
It is necessary. That's for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
I don't need them, but
I know.
Do you need them?
I mean, if they come here and buy a house, that would be great.
Yes.
But we want them to be stayers.
Right. Oh, we have 5 minutes left.
Wow.
Oh,
Time flies.
Time flies. We're having fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is there anything we haven't talked about yet that you want our listeners to know?
Gosh, I don't know.
I don't usually ask that question.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we've covered a lot of ground here.
Yeah.
You guys have already shared the things that you find endearing about the North Country, and I usually ask that question, but I love that it came up naturally.
Yeah.
So we know coffee is one of them.
Oh, yeah.
We know that the New England warmth is another one of them. Do you guys have any other favorites about living here?
Well, I like the slower pace. It's getting a little faster.
Yeah.
But it's still manageable. Where I grew up in Lebanon, it's kind of chaotic to me, and
Yeah.
I go down there once a week, and it's like, wow, geez, this is crazy town. But they're in it, so they don't see it. So when you step out of it and you come up north, you're like, oh, okay, now I can breathe. Wow, look at all the trees. Wow, look at the mountains. For me, I like it because of the slower pace, but still, moderate. We still can get what we need if we need it. Coffee. That's all we need.
Well, it's contentment, and I think that's one of the things that landed me lastly in Franconia when we moved here 9 years ago was the mountains, and it's just so contentment was one of the words I used quite a bit when I first moved up here. Moving from the Upper Valley, which was, Dartmouth College and the hospital and all the business and the hustle and bustle, which you think, is there hustle and bustle in New Hampshire? Well, yes, there is, and so I've always said when you go through the notch, it is like a portal.
Yes.
And it's just things slow down a little bit, and I hope it stays that way because I love it.
Yeah.
I really love that about it. But I also like the sense of community that you have up here, and that was one of the things we've talked about that when I moved my business from Lincoln to Franconia. I mean, I live in Franconia. Christy lives in Franconia. We feel, part of the community because we live there, and it's just the difference between south of the notch, Lincoln, Woodstock, and those are great communities too. Great. But when you go through that portal and you're up here, it's a sense of community. It's not as transient. People live up here, more time than they do down there. We don't have as much lodging and all of that. So it's a different experience, even from an outdoors perspective. People tend to be a bit more grounded. And so everybody's so involved in community organizations. I love to see that, there's so many great nonprofits to support around here. And I'm not promoting, but I'm on the board of Wren, and that's really meaningful to me.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's just a great organization, in Bethlehem, and they do so much great work, not just for a small biz artist, but small businesses creatives, and it's really a great mission. So, but I see that with our clients that live north of the Notch. They're all involved in boards and in volunteering the community. And look what Janie's doing, and it's great to see the give back. And that's, part of what our mission is to have some give back to our business. And some of that is how we're evolving the business in terms of the feng shui. I really would like to start working with, I'd like to work with more women in a different way that are going through really big, hard transitions in life.
Yeah.
That's a big thing for me that I think has more meaning to me and more meaning to the client. So it all plays into that feeling of community.
How would you are you thinking about workshops, or how would you bring those people together?
Yeah. Well, I think, focusing the business practice on a certain population.
Okay.
And I'd really like to work with women going through transitions, women that are divorcing, or maybe the kids are leaving the nest, or widows, and I've shared a little bit. My husband is going through a really horrible health journey right now with a terminal cancer diagnosis. And so understanding grief and how grief impacts everybody, and that grief has a lot of different meanings for a lot of different things that people go through in life, and bringing that into my practice is really important.
Yeah.
And while Chrissy's going to be doing feng shui, I'm probably going to be doing a grief certification. So we really bring this all together so that really does approach the home in a very, very meaningful way. And that's really important to the both of us to continue to do goal. This at our age and this phase in our life.
That is incredible. You just totally dropped a bomb in our last minutes.
I know, but this is what is really important for us, and communicating to the community on, why are we here? What are we doing?
What's our point?
Yeah.
Who are you? What do you do? It's all of us. It's all of us.
Yeah.
It's all of us and everything that we're going through.
Yeah.
And by gosh, if a beautiful pillow can help you feel better, then we're here for you.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah. Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you guys...
We didn't swear.
No.
So were you worried?
I was really worried. I got to tell you.
Well, especially with me.
Yeah. I mean, and she gets started, then I get started. It's like sneezing or...
Oh, man. Well, I'm so thankful that you brought your filters today.
Yes. Yeah. You're the only one that said a bad word.
Oh, did you track
you
that?
Said bad, ASS.
Oh, I said badass.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now I've said it twice. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys being here. You are welcome to come back anytime, as long as no one's sitting in those chairs.
Yeah.
I feel like we have so much more to dive into, but thank you for your time today and for being real.
Yeah,
that's what this is all about.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. It was fun.
Yeah,
I was waiting for the callers to dial in. I'm like, that would be really fun.
We're not going there yet. I have thought about it, but I'm like, I don't know. It introduces a whole bunch of risks that I'm not willing to approach yet. So I'm just going to, thank our listeners for tuning in. We will see you next week. And just a reminder that you are listening to WZNC LP Bethlehem, North Country Community Radio 99.9 FM, streaming online at nococommunityradio.org. Have a fantastic day, guys.